Good evening. We are going to call to order this meeting of the Board of Trustees of Missoula County Public Schools. The time is 6 o'clock. And this evening, because none of our officers are available to be here, as the senior board member, which I think means I've been here the longest, not that I'm the oldest, I would ask my fellow trustees without objection that I be able to act as chair tonight so that we can go through our agenda. Not seeing any objections, we're going to do it. All right. So call to order, 6 o'clock. Tracy has taken the role. We are missing Trustee Oldperson, Trustee Hobbins, Trustee Woylick, and Walker Andrews are on Zoom. Excellent. Okay, and then the next order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. And now the next order of business, item 3, is to review, revise, and approve the agenda. Are there any trustees who want to move or remove any agenda items? Not seeing any. I need a motion to approve the agenda as written. From Trustee F. Garris, second. From Trustee Mercer. This is hard. And any public comment on the agenda? No. Okay, all trustees in favor of approving the agenda as written? That is unanimous as to trustees present. All right, then the next item is to approve the minutes of previous meetings from March 14th. Can I have a motion to approve those minutes? Trustee F. Garris, and a second. Trustee Witt. Right? That's going to take me a second. Trustee Witt. Any comments from trustees on those minutes? Nope. Any public comment on those minutes? Nope. All trustees signify by raising your hand. And those on Zoom, I forgot y'all last time. Trustee Walker Andrews and Trustee Woylick. Are they able to vote or raise their signal by raising their hands? And are they doing it? Okay.
Trustee Woylick, if you could please raise your hand.
Oh, yeah, we got 2 hands raised.
Yay, okay.
Thank you.
So that's unanimous as to all trustees present, and now we know that they can vote. Great. So the next item on the agenda is public comment and correspondence. There's a fair amount of correspondence in the packet that you all have seen. And so we will take public comments from folks in the room. So this is a time when folks can talk to us about things that are on their minds and that are important to them. Comments need to be kept to about 3 minutes, and please don't talk about any individuals in the district during this time. Before you speak, please sign in, and then when you start, please spell your last name so we can capture that for the minutes. And it's also, just in case, as anyone who hasn't seen public comment before, it's not a time for questions and answers. We can't really respond to you, but we are listening. So with that, public comment.
Thank you. This is Julie Robitaille, Robitaille. I'm the principal at Paxson Elementary School. I thought I should come and offer my public comment in light of the amount of public comment and correspondence from Paxson staff and families that you received in your packet for this meeting. First of all, I support and validate the effort put into those written comments and appreciate that the people you all represent have a way to provide feedback and input into the oversight of our school district. Last year at this time, those of you on the board were inundated with public comments from people passionate about maintaining Spanish language learning at Paxson. With your guidance and support, Paxton has implemented a new model whereby all teachers teach English language arts and math in English, and all students receive 45 minutes per day of Spanish language instruction, plus science and social studies as well in English. Our new model is working, and we are excited to be able to offer a robust Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 system for student support both in academics and in social emotional learning with our 2 interventionists. We have gained the ability to effectively and efficiently intervene early and often, which is the evidence-based key to academic and behavioral success. I'm here tonight not to criticize or to blame. I feel like MCPS has done a way better job, in my opinion, than most school districts in managing the influx and now evaporation of ESSER funding. We really appreciate the 2 years of support from an academic as well as behavior interventionist that we have benefited from, and acknowledge that these positions were designed as one-year-only positions. My message tonight is that our need is still very present and urgent. I represent all elementary school principals when I say, when we reduce or eliminate support for quality interventions, both in academics and behavior at the elementary level, the problems students face at the middle and high school level, as well as at large in our community, are exacerbated and will negatively impact not only our school district, but the greater community in a significant way for years to come. Research is clear. Investments in early education and intervention pay huge dividends later on. As a district, we need to stop reacting to student issues in the middle and high school and start acting on the research and data that the elementary schools have gathered. We need to not clump the middle schools with the elementary schools when assessing needs and examining budget concerns. Yes, we have a K-8 budget, but elementary schools are operating on far less staffing and far less support, especially in our non-Title I schools. I understand K-8 enrollment as a whole is declining, which necessitates budget reductions, but what I'm advocating for is a more detailed budget analysis when considering budget cuts. 6 out of 9 of our elementary schools are not projected to lose students next year. In fact—
I'm sorry, your time is up.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Thank you. Is there any further public comment? Okay. Thanks. Seeing none, then we are going to move on to the next item on the agenda, which is the community connection, item number 6. And we're going to introduce Casey Dernberger, Superintendent Lodge. Do you want to introduce Ms. Dernberger, or will she introduce herself?
She's pretty good at introducing herself. Okay. Casey's our CTE coordinator, and we're happy to have her tonight. She's got a nice presentation for us. Casey, it's all yours.
That button? Okay, so I'm Casey Durenberger. I am the Career and Technical Education Coordinator for Missoula County Public Schools, in case you didn't know what CTE stood for. We use a lot of acronyms in education, so I just want to clarify, and our students will clarify some of their acronyms also. So Tracy Lane gave me 15 minutes, so I'm going to read my part of the speech really fast, and then I'm going to have the kids, who are the most important thing to our district, present a little bit about their specific CTSOs. So I'm here today to highlight some of the wonderful opportunities available in our district that are made more accessible to all students through the Montana Advanced Opportunity Act. The Montana Advanced Opportunity Act expands personal, career, and technical education opportunities for middle school and high school students. It reduces the out-of-pocket costs for students and families in support of students' post-secondary success. Empowers students to actively engage in forming post-secondary success that aligns with their individual interests, passions, strengths, and needs in the culture. Before COVID, when we were planning this grant and applying for this grant, the statistics showed that student participation in career and technical student organizations, also known as CTSOs, met the goals of this Advanced Opportunity Act. In fact, the pre-COVID statistic was that we had 100% of our at-risk population graduate if they participated in a CTSO. So knowing that we saw such a great impact, we decided to use the majority of that grant to continue supporting our students and their families to be able to participate. CTSOs can get very expensive, as do sports, and so we wanted to make sure that all kids had that opportunity to be able to provide at least all the way through the state level competitions without any cost to their parents or them. CTSOs provide integral components of curriculum and instruction, build upon employability and career skills and concepts through the application and engagement of students on hands-on demonstrations in real life and work experience. Through these programs, they help guide students to develop a career pathway, programs of study, provide opportunities in gaining the skills and abilities needing to be successful in careers throughout their life. It also provides them leadership positions as well at the local, state, and even at the national level. We have a national level student in BPA right now. She was a secretary this year. In addition, students have opportunities to and gain experience in business and industry partners with the help of our wonderful advisors throughout the middle school and high school. I have some of our students with me today, and I'm going to have them introduce their CTSO, give you the reason why they participate in their chosen organization and why it's so meaningful to them. So we'll start with BPA, and right now I have one of my middle schoolers. She thought the high school students would be here in time to start, but she's going to still pull this off really well. Oh, they snuck in. Come on up. This is going to be a weird transition, but we're going to start with BPA. Asha can come. Yep, both of you can do it. So this is Professionals of America.
Hi everyone, my name's Faith Yu. I'm currently serving as the Vice President of the BPA chapter over at Hellgate High School. So one of the reasons that I started participating in BPA is because I was a pretty anxious and introverted kid when I first started high school. And I came from out of district, so I didn't really know anyone. So I thought it'd be a great way to get connected with the community. And I was right, and I've garnered so many skills. It's one of the reasons I'm able to sit here before you today and present, but I've garnered so many skills, and it's a CTSO where you're able to get some hands-on experience and a lot of real-world skills that you're going to use in your adult life. So we learn a lot in school, obviously, whether it's math, science, English. In BPA, all of that comes together and you're able to sort of use all of those skills to succeed in your events. So if you're able to write well, you're going to be able to present well. If you're able to do math sufficiently, you're going to succeed in fundamental accounting or events like that. And there's an event for anyone. So if you like presenting, that's personally what I do. Those are the events that I'm going to do. If you're good at testing, you're going to be able to do that. So it's truly a chapter that's open to anyone, a CTSO that anyone and everyone is able to join. And just because of how inclusive it is, I feel that it's one of the best CTSOs out there, and I don't regret joining it. And we're off to nationals in a few weeks, and that's so exciting. And we're able to get so much experience even beyond Missoula. And we learn materials that are beyond what we learn within our schools. And it's truly an invaluable experience that I hope all students are able to have.
Hi, my name is Asha Gregoire, and I am the chapter president of the Washington Middle School BPA chapter. Business Professionals America has really made me the person I am today. And so when I was in 6th grade, we were online, and I started doing BPA because my brother was doing it, and of course I look up to him. And but now I do it because it's taught me so much, and I have become a much better speaker. And I would never have imagined myself being able to talk in front of this many people, even in 6th grade when I first started BPA. I remember when I first started and I did my first presentation, I was so nervous, I was shaking. And so that is the main thing that I love about BPA, and it's truly an amazing organization.
Thank you, girls.
Thank you.
FFA, did Gus get here? Okay, so we'll skip down to HOSA. My HOSA girls?
All right, hello everyone. My name's Liliana Schulze. I'm representing Big Sky's HOSA chapter, which stands for Health Occupation Students of America. And I first joined HOSA my sophomore year. I didn't have a leadership role, but I really enjoyed learning about the different health professions. And in HOSA, you have the opportunity to study on whatever health profession you decide that you might want to do in the future. And it gives you a lot of really great opportunities. I've gone to multiple cadaver labs through my HOSA experience, as well as a paramedic simulation lab and a suture lab. So if you have an idea about what you might want to do in the future, you can pick that event, and then you go to and you present, much like in BPA, and you can place, and if you go to top 2, you go to nationals. So these events give you a good idea for what you might want to do in the future. And if you do an event and you're like, whoa, that's not for me, it gives you a good opportunity to maybe change your track really early. So it gives you a good opportunity to do that, as well as many other opportunities that are like outside of the normal high school range that are really beneficial to your high school career.
Hi, my name is Lane Banziger. I'm representing the Hellgate chapter for HOSA. I'm officially the treasurer for the Hellgate chapter. I also joined my sophomore year. And it was a way that I thought I could find a community at Hellgate, since I didn't go there my freshman year. And I thought it would be a good way to meet people. And it definitely was. One of my best friends was the president of that chapter and is still the president of that chapter. She's also a state officer. And honestly, HOSA has just given me so much. It's given me a lot of experience with different job opportunities. I've learned so much through different symposiums that I've gone through during HOSA State. And honestly, it's just been such a great experience for me. And it's basically solidified my opinion, well, my belief that I'm going to go into a healthcare career. Yeah, I think it's just a great opportunity for everyone. And I think it just teaches like everyone so much about healthcare careers and medicine in general.
Hi again, everyone. Again, my name's Faith, sophomore at Hellgate. I also participate in HOSA. So it's personally a field that I want to go into. And this year, I also recently learned that by 2034, we're expected to have a deficit of 124,000 physicians. And that's something that really struck me. I think we have to encourage and incentivize kids to go into this field. It's very important, and it's something that means a lot to me. Lane and I, we were both able to run for state office this year. We've yet to hear back for our Zoom interview, but it was like a memorable experience. We were able to speak in front of about 600 of HOSA kids from all over the state. That was awesome. And again, this is another CTSO where a lot of our school skills come into play. We're able to present, we're able to take tests, we're able to do a lot of medical related, like labs and stuff like Lily and Lane were both talking about, and it really caters to every kind of student. So because of that, HOSA is another CTSO that I value a lot.
And finally, we're going to talk to the Skills USA crew.
Hello, everybody. My name is Timothy Walters. I'm a senior at Sentinel High School. This is my second year on Skills, or doing Skills USA on our Skills USA team or chapter. Skills USA is a career technical organization. There's a whole bunch of different competitions, anywhere from welding, carpentry, to business presentation and leadership skills. I participate in the technical computer applications competition. It's a place where you sort of go into it not really knowing what you're going to get out of it, and what you get out of it is, I mean, as it says, career skills. Something that I feel like a lot of people coming out of high school either lack or just don't get the experience in anything like I mean, there's no really other way to get it other than CTSOs. I personally have interned at an engineering firm, which the skills that Skills USA has given me were able to help me greatly in doing that, because it teaches you a lot of those fine communication skills, how to work with other people, how to present to other people, how to like create good quality work that you're proud of, that you can show off and that you can like put effort behind, how to be passionate about something, how to create something that you will love. I first joined Skills USA because Mr. Boot, he's also the head mentor of the robotics team, was like, hey, you guys are in robotics? You guys are like Skills. We're like, what Skills? He was like, well, you'll find out. And we found out. It is by far one of the most beneficial programs I've ever been a part of, just because it prepares you for the industry better than even going into the industry can, I think. That's my experience with Skills. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ethan Braun. I'm a senior at Sentinel High School. I'll second everything Tim said. I can't say it better. I competed in the technical drafting this year at the state competition, where I managed to take gold back-to-back. The Skills USA has been really meaningful for me in terms of actually proving my skills and allowing me to take my skills farther than any of the programs at all of our high schools can. It really allowed me to realize that I should pursue a STEM career after high school. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Haley Feist. I am the president of our Skills USA chapter, and I competed in welding last month. I was kind of thrown into it by my teacher, Mr. Boot, and they've done nothing but show me that I can push myself to go farther than what I have, and I can have a future in welding. And it's brought me to a more professional level and shown me that anything's possible. Thank you.
So I want to thank my students for coming. They're all mine, even though I don't teach any of them. For coming today and giving up some time in presenting to us and giving us some good insight into their CTSOs. Before I go, I wanted to give the board a small update on our workforce experience program, which CTSOs lend really well to. The state and local officials and industry have been knocking on our doors for years to get us to share our students with them in a meaningful work experience opportunities. We slowly began developing a systematic program for placing students in pre-internship type pre-apprenticeships. The vocab is different in every place you go. So when it became apparent that I personally wasn't going to be able to manage all of the programs as fast as it was growing and as many people in Missoula that want students, especially with the issue with not having enough employees for their businesses to run, we brought on another person, Courtney Kirkos, and she's been working with a really long list of industry and local businesses and the governor's office and local city government to create a system that places students in a safe and educationally sound environment. This year was our soft launch of the program, and there are 20 students placed currently in MCPS's high schools participating in this workplace experience. This is not work co-op. This is completely separate. These are actual jobs that kids are interested in going into in careers for their future, not just getting a job and getting release time, but to actually experience and find out if that's a career that they really want to go into after high school, or maybe they find out they don't, and they learned very quickly that they need to pivot at a younger age and may have not spent so much money on college. We hope to continue and grow this program to include job shadows for the younger high school students, more field trips out into the workforce, and invite more business leaders into our CTE classes. So that's just a little update that Courtney couldn't come, but she wanted to share. So I appreciate your time. I know it's very valuable, but I think that it's very important for you to see what our students are doing outside of sports sometimes. Thank you.
Hey, Brian, can you walk up here, Mr. Boot, please? You only seem to come to this board meeting with nothing but great news, so why don't you expand a little bit on USA Skills so they understand a little bit more?
Certainly, thank you. I'm Brian Boot. I'm the automotive instructor for the district. I also am the Skills USA advisor, as well as the head robotics coach for MCPS. As far as Skills USA goes, it's a technical student organization that brings in all the skilled trades that are out there, and it allows the students to get leadership skills as well as be able to compete with all the rest of the schools within the state. So within that, we had 2 back-to-back state champions this year, both Tim and Ethan, in both technical computers and technical drafting. So it was really an honor for that. And this is, in the past 2 years, we've had 5 state champions total. So it's been pretty good run. As for the skills portion of it, it's very beneficial because there's automotive, welding, there's 41 competitions within the state, there's 110 nationally. So there's a whole area that any students can compete in. It's very inclusive in that aspect of it. So you can pretty much, if there's something that you want to do, there's something you can do to be a part of it. And the leadership portion of it, it's preparing these students for the real world, and basically they're getting those skills that they need to be able to resume write. That's part of their challenge when they go and compete. They have to have a job interview, they have to compete, and there's also areas that are technical skills that they have to actually take tests, and ASE tests for automotive is one of them. It's pretty intense, and it's a neat situation for them all to be in. So.
Brian, thanks. You want to say anything?
I was just going to see if any trustees wanted to.
Sure.
Did any trustee have either a quick question or a comment or reflection for the folks that shared?
Yeah, please introduce Casey. That'd be great.
I have Beth Huguet here, and she's our BPA advisor at Hellgate High School.
If I didn't get Beth up here, I would have been in big trouble.
Hi, I'm Beth Huguet. I'm actually one of 8 regional coordinators for the state of Montana for BPA. BPA is the largest career technology student organization in Montana with over 1,600 students involved. Actually, we have more than that. We had 1,600 compete at the state level. And from that, I had 26 kids there. We had, 10, 12 state champions this year. Faith is actually as a freshman last year, Faith made it onto the national scene with almost 7,000 students, the best of the best in the country. And when I say the best of the country, when MCPS can hold their own with high schools that are 4-year private business high schools, and out of Texas and Ohio, they're technology 4-year private technology high schools. And we, with our comprehensive schools, can hold our own because our students take such an interest to expand their knowledge outside the classroom and challenge themselves. It's pretty phenomenal. And I'm just really proud. I want to say for career technology student organizations as a whole, what we see in CTE, and you got to remember this is my 34th year of being in the classroom, what we see is those students that are involved in CTSOs, they're also the same students that are coming to us as teachers and saying, can you get me hooked up with an internship? Can you get me those job shadows? 3 of my BPA students right now are in internships, paid internships. One is with a CPA here in town, and she's been doing tax returns with her. She's a senior at Hellgate High School. I have 2 young men who are working with Russ Piazza and Jeremy Brown down at Front Street Capital Management, Mortgage Management, whatever. I can never get their name straight. It's a long one. But they're learning about investing and hedge funds and mutual funds and things like that. And they're actually looking at they have started last Thursday an investment group at Hellgate High School. But all of the CTSOs, what they allow is the students that want to expand beyond the normal classroom and challenge themselves to a whole nother level. They get that opportunity, and a lot of times then they find different pockets of careers that kind of excite them, and then they meet us teachers, and then they're able to say, hey, can you set up an internship? Can you set up job shadows? Things like that. And we've seen that with HOSA, we've seen that with BPA and Skills USA and FFA. Another kind of cool thing that's going on right now, when you hear from all of our CSTOs, we have overlaps. And so Faith, for instance, she's one of our HOSA BPA students who competes in medical events for both organizations, but the events are run differently. BPA has about 110 events. We also have virtual events. Casey Dernberger's daughter, who's in Washington Middle School, actually is in the top 10 in the nation in a virtual event, and will be presenting at the national stage at the end of this month. So there's just so many opportunities. It's phenomenal. And until about 3 years ago, when I started the Washington BPA group, when we go to nationals, Delaware and Texas would sweep it. And last year, the middle school kids, every event that was presented at the national forum, remember, about 7,000 students, a Washington middle school kid was in almost every single event in the top 10. So it's just been phenomenal, and I can't say enough about it. I've been an advisor for 17 years, and it's probably the one thing that gets me excited and gives me that little kick in my step every day to go to school, is to be with my BPA kids. And the other thing, social emotional wellness. Hellgate this year got to do the Torch Awards at the state conference. It's a very prestigious celebration ceremony where 9 students had to get up in front of 1,600 students and parents and talk about our core values. 3 of those students have been diagnosed with anxiety disorder, and they took on that challenge as a personal challenge for themselves to say, I'm going to go do this, I'm going to go stand up in front of people and I'm going to talk, even if I'm uncomfortable. And one of them was shaking like this, but at the end of it, she did it. And so there's growth in so many ways with TSOs. It's not just career aspects, but it's individual growth, personal growth, and social and well-being and all that kind of stuff. And the other thing is the clubs transcend all kinds of cliques and groups and age groups. We have from freshmen through seniors, and there's every walk of life, and everybody is celebrated, and the diversity is beautiful. And you'll have, the big football player telling the senior football player, getting a little freshman kid excited who's been totally anxious about even talking to somebody. And so there's so much good about it, I can't say enough. I'd like to turn it over to Kate, though, because I know she has something to say. Thank you.
This is unexpected, but hi, my name is Kate Lindner, and I am the co-advisor for HOSA from Big Sky High School. And I just want to sort of reiterate what everybody said. CTSOs are incredibly powerful. We just took over 50 students from Hellgate, Sentinel, and Big Sky on one bus over to Billings, where they competed across 2 days, and all 3 schools had great success at that competition, and have the opportunity to travel to nationals in Dallas if we want to. But I'd really like to give a shout out to Casey, who's been a real big proponent of making this whole experience available to everybody, because in years past there's been a huge amount of fundraising that's had to go on, and now with the House bill and with Casey allowing us to finance a lot of those fees, many more people are able to join in those opportunities that allow them to travel and see the 1,600 or 600 or however many other students that are performing at really high levels. And I think it's really important for us to work as much as we can to allow or keep that door open and allow those students that opportunity. Yeah, keep it diverse. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Are there any quick questions or comments from trustees? Trustee Mercer.
So I don't know who this question's for, but can someone summarize a little bit more what the district's financial support is that makes this happen?
So we receive a grant from, it was initially House Bill 387, that's why you'll hear that a lot. And I worked with some legislatures and our prior curriculum director to kind of figure out how we were going to use this money that the legislature basically started this Montana Advanced Opportunity Act. I every year ask for more money, of course, and every year I get it. And I have to do presentations for the legislature and stuff, but basically it's a 60-40. So 60% of the money we get goes directly to parent offset costs, and then 40 can go to helping pay my wage and any other costs that ensue managing the grant and managing all the systems that we have in place. It pays for not only CTSOs, it also pays for field trips. A lot of our family and consumer science teachers take their kids. We just went up to Pause Up. Anything related to career and technical education, basically, that if a parent would have to pay for it, that can be offset with this grant. So for example, my daughter, they're going on a field trip. I'm supposed to give them $5 so she can go. That grant could cover that $5 and or food, anything that would happen. So we have enough money in the budget to pay for all of our CTSOs currently to fund every student for every competition, food, busing, transportation, all the way through state. After state, we kind of run dry and they're on their own for nationals. So we're in like major fundraising right now. My daughter, the bill is over 2,000. So, but they're all fundraising for that money right now.
So are the coaches or anything, is anything general fund?
So I believe a couple advisors are general fund. Some of our teachers, because of how these things were started, aren't actually paid. I don't take a wage for being an advisor. Some of them use their Perkins funds. Some of them use their VOED funds to pay themselves. But I think there's only 2 that are actually general fund paid. And I'm not sure how that all came about.
Trustee Efgaris.
I'll be very brief. I just want to say how commendable all you young men and women coming here tonight are, and how impressive you all are. That's really, really excellent. This sort of we'll say institution or clubs is near and dear to me. Way back when I was in high school and there was a 19 next to the year, I was in something similar, an organization called VICA, Vocational Industrial Clubs of America, and I was able to compete in sheet metal, and me and my brother both went into sheet metal. He went to nationals and I went home, but that's all right. No bitterness there, but just saying, this is a great skills you are learning. These are skills, take it from an old guy. These are skills, whether you make a career of it or not, is something that you'll use your entire life. You really, really will. And this is something that I think definitely by the school district needs to be encouraged and grown in any way that we can help support that.
I also forgot to tell you, DECA isn't here today. They're the Big Sky chapter of the business organizational part of it. And then FFA is all of our high schools are represented in our Future Farmers of America CTSO, and they aren't here today. So I didn't want to leave them out.
Trustee Vogel.
Thank you. So just to follow up on what you were just saying just now, so there's BPA, Business Professionals of America, Skills USA, HOSA, which is the Health Occupations, FFA. Are there any others?
DECA.
What are
DECA.
DECA.
And
And could you
then-
say again what that one is?
It's a marketing CTSO, so it goes over a lot of marketing. I don't actually know what DECA stands for, to be honest.
Distributive Education Clubs of America.
Okay. What was the first word?
Distributive Education Clubs of America.
Huh.
And they do just the marketing aspect of the pizza pie of the business world.
Are there any others?
We don't have our Family and Consumer Science runs Educators Rising. It's not an official CTSO right now in the state of Montana. It is in other states. Superintendents around the state are working, including Rob Watson, on trying to get that as an official CTSO, but as of right now, it isn't. So I still, since it is a CTE program, we still fund it through the Montana Opportunities Act. They just don't have competitions and stuff yet, but that's the grow your own educator type model. And we have that chapter at Sentinel right now.
Okay, seeing no more comments or questions from trustees, I think. I'll just add my thanks to all of you for coming and talking about your experiences and about all of your successes. And congratulations on those, and congratulations for the strength of this really awesome program.
And we'd love to come back and brag about what we all did at Nationals.
We'd love to have you.
If Tracy will ever let me come back, my 15 minutes went really long. I'm cut off. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, so now we're moving into the next item on the agenda, which is reports and announcements, and we'll start with student trustee reports. I see that we have both folks from Big Sky tonight. Welcome, Pak, and welcome, Noel. Not sure how you're going to split up your report, but take it away.
Hey, hi, I'm Noel. I'm one of the Big Sky representatives, and I'm gonna take on the leadership portion, and then Pak will do the activities portion. So for leadership, Big Sky's science classes hosted the first science circus post-COVID. Our students created fun science projects to present to and inspire young kids in the community, and the event was a great success, and we're super excited for next year. NHS is hosting a blood drive on April 19th from 9 to 2:30 at Big Sky High School, and the NHS also hosted an Easter egg hunt on April 1st, which was a lot of fun, and had a lot of kids there, so we were super excited about that. Key Club did a parking lot cleanup recently and helped to clean up our high school as well as the surrounding area. Art Club attended MAI in Great Falls, in which they did art workshops and showed their art pieces, and they're also preparing for an art show coming up. The juniors in IB science classes will be starting their REACH air quality project soon, in which they will be working in groups to investigate air quality issues in the Missoula area, and they will be presenting their projects at the university in May for anyone to attend. The Health Science Academy seniors will be presenting their senior research projects on May 17th at Big Sky. These topics include solving community issues, investigating a testable question in any of the sciences, or designing a structure, object, or computer program that could have an impact in their school.
Along with the activities, with spring sports coming in full steam, track and field is off to a great start this year with the first 2 meets under our athletes' belts. There's a lot of underclassmen talent with our seniors and juniors also showing well in our throwing events, hurdles, relays, and more. Big Sky girls tennis swept Sentinel and Butte, as well as tied with Glacier. Our boys team tied Sentinel and swept Butte. They both play this Wednesday at the Fort against Hellgate. Our softball team is starting off the season strong with their previous games against Skyview, Belgrade, and Frenchtown. The team shows confidence this year in making it far with all of their starters from last year returning and planning to make an impact on the field. The District Music Festival is this Friday for our music students. These students will play in front of judges in big groups, small ensembles, and solos. Thank you.
It looks like possibly, Faith, are you going to pinch hit for Chloe?
Yes, she was unfortunately caught behind a train today and wasn't able to make it in time, and had to go to MYS. She wasn't able to give me anything, but I know the general happenings of our school. So first of all, again, we went to host the SLC. That was a big hit. We had about 10 state champions from those events. We also have a lot of kids interested in going to the international level because, of course, HOSA is an international organization. For BPA, we're headed off to the National Leadership Conference on April 26th at 4 a.m., bright and early. And, you know, tennis, track, softball, we've all started those. Tennis, we started our season strong against Glacier. And then we're going to be playing Big Sky on Wednesday. And then we also have a track meet on Saturday, and softball is going to be playing at home on Thursday and Saturday as well over at the Rattlesnake Fields. And Key Club is holding a pop tab drive for the Ronald McDonald House, I believe. And student government, we're holding our class projects. So I'm the sophomore class president over at Hellgate, and me and my vice president, we're starting something called the Spirit Bowl. So as you might know, we have the Golden Goat game, but this is something sort of within our school. So it's going to be grade versus grade, and it's going to be a huge assembly. We're also going to do a little teacher appreciation feature. So last year I was able to make like a video for Teacher Appreciation Day. And this year our freshman class officers are doing sort of like a flower sort of event for our teachers. And we're also going to have a teacher versus student basketball game during that assembly. And we're also going to have a feature in the Hellgate Happenings for teacher appreciation. So I edit the Hellgate Happenings, and recently we had like the school shooting threat. And that was a pretty big scare for all of us, I think. And it's an ongoing issue, but MCPS handled it very well. And this past week for the Hellgate Happenings, we did a What I Like About Hellgate segment, sort of just to bring everyone back together after an event like that. And that's sort of all that comes to mind right now. But Hellgate, we're just getting back on our feet after sort of a scare last week. But yeah, that's all from me.
Faith, thank you for filling in. Really appreciate that.
Faith, did you want to chair this meeting tonight?
I know.
Faith for president, anyone?
Right on. Okay. And I believe that Superintendent Lodge has the report from Sentinel High School.
I do. Yeah. Spring sports at Sentinel are now in full swing. Tennis, track, softball have all been able to get outdoors and get their practices in. Tennis in particular has struggled to get their courts because they're unfinished, but they have managed to work out practices using various other courts nearby. The first competitions this past week against Big Sky and Flathead. Next tournament will be against Butte and Big Sky this weekend. Track recently had their first meet in Helena. We'll be competing in Missoula today and Friday. Softball has already played a number of teams across the state and will be playing Glacier on Thursday. All the juniors have spent the last month gearing up for the ACT, which took place this morning. English and math classes work to provide students with the skills they would need to ace the standardized testing. All students have also been busy preparing for 2 weeks of AP exam testing at the beginning of May. These tests are all hours long and determine if a student receives college credit for the course. So Sentinel is committed to ensuring we do as best as we can. Some activities: the band is busy preparing for their spring concert, a date still to be determined. Theater department put on an excellent performance of Clue for 3 nights at the end of March with a great turnout that helped raise funds for the program. Amnesty International is planning a bake sale this week to raise money for humanitarian causes. Academic World Quest is planning for their trip to nationals in Washington, D.C. at the end of the summer, and Key Club is coordinating volunteers for youth track coaches. So with 1 quarter left to go, Sentinel is excited to finish the year strong.
Thank you, Superintendent Lodge. And do we have Owen from Sealy Lake on Zoom?
It looks like Owen is not joining us tonight.
Okay.
I have his.
Oh, you've got his report too. Great.
It's short. Owen at Sealy Swan, both our track and golf teams have started their respective seasons. Track team is finally able to practice outdoors at Sealy. That's nice. The Sealy Swan Leo's Club helped the Lions Club put on their annual Easter egg hunt by filling and distributing over 2,500 eggs. And the Destinations for Education group just returned from their language study and homestay experience in Costa Rica. And that wraps it up.
Okay. Exciting news.
And somebody else has been accepted. Where have you been accepted?
I'm going to the Air Force Academy.
Congratulations.
So for student trustees, we know how busy you are and how much there is going on this time of year. So if you need to excuse yourselves at this time, you're welcome to do so, and we thank you for your time and your reports. If you'd like to stay, you're of course welcome anytime. So thank you. Have a good rest of your evening if you need to go. So with that, we'll go to the next item, which is the Health Insurance Trust Fund report, which I'm sure everyone has read. There is not going to be an oral report on that. And then next is announcements from Superintendent Lodge.
Just two short announcements. So the next meeting is on April 25th, and we're going to get you here at 5 o'clock because we want to go through the demographic study that was completed in January. And I think it's important because we'll do a work session. It's our data points. It's the best data points we have as we move forward in the next 3 to 5 years. And I think it would really be an advantage if each board member understood that demographic study and what it looks like as best we can for data points for decision making. So that's on the 25th. 2 weeks later on May 9th, I did it to you again, another work session at 5, this time for the boundary study for the middle schools. And Pat's working on a contract with that group and some kind of information to present as well that night. But I think it's important you have another hour to talk about this boundary study, or 45 minutes, whatever it may be, to get those two big events discussed as a board in a less formal situation. So that's my report. Demographic study, April 5th, or April 25 at 5, May 9th, then followed 2 weeks later for the boundary study at 5. And that's it.
Okay, thanks. Moving on to the consent agenda, which is item number 8. We are not going to discuss these items, but if anyone wants to discuss them, then you can make a motion to move them off the consent agenda. Not seeing any motion for that, we will treat them as the consent agenda. The first item is finance, operations, and maintenance, and we are seeing student attendance agreements. Can I have an elementary motion to approve the students on that form? Trustee F. Garris, seconded by Trustee Witt. Any board discussion? Nope. Any public comment? Nope. All trustees in favor of that motion, please raise your hand. Elementary trustees, thank you. And that is unanimous. Yep, nope. Nobody's on Zoom from elementary, are they? Nope. So we are good. That is unanimous. And then a secondary issue, any motion from a secondary trustee or K-12 trustee? Trustee Vogel, and seconded by Trustee F. Garris. Any board discussion on that one? Or public comment? Nope. All trustees in favor of that item? And trustees online?
2 raised hands.
Fantastic, thank you. So that item has passed as well. That is the end of the consent agenda, and so we move to new business, item number 9. And the first is to authorize a resolution, which is a declaration of election by acclamation. And Pat McHugh is going to walk us through.
All right, thank you. So state law allows trustees to declare elections by acclamation if the number of candidates is equal to the number of vacant positions, which was the case this year for both the elementary election and the high school District D election. So the resolution that's attached to the agenda, it references that statute 20-3-313. We're recommending that the board declare the election by acclamation. We won't issue certificates of election until May, which will be after the regular scheduled time for the election, but at that same time, we'll reorganize the board. So for tonight, it'll just be declaring that election by these two elections by acclamation. Sorry, I jumped to both of them, but same info. And there's one more point. Oh, both those elections have been canceled, so we canceled those per authority given in the resolution authorizing the elections.
Are there any questions from trustees about this item? Seeing no questions, is there a motion to approve this election by acclamation of the elementary trustees? Trustee Witt, is there a second? Trustee Witcher. Any board discussion? Any public comment? Okay, seeing none, then all trustees in favor of this motion to elect by elect by acclamation. I saw on the thing, I'm sure. Let's see. What should I say?
Approval of resolution.
Yes, it's a motion to authorize the declaration of acclamation for the 2 open elementary trustee positions. I'm so glad it's written down. All trustees raise your hand if you're in favor. Elementary trustees. That looks like it's unanimous as to trustees present. Thank you. And then same item for the secondary election of trustees in the District D. Any questions about this from trustees? Nope. Then do I have a motion to authorize election by acclamation of secondary trustee? Trustee Avgaris. Trustee Mercer is the second. And any board discussion? Nope. Seeing none, all trustees in favor of, sorry, public comment, thank you. Any public comment? Okay,
2 raised hands.
2 raised hands. All other trustees in favor of this motion? Unanimous as to trustees present. Whew, this is hard. Okay. All right. Moving on to the next item, which is the levy communications plan update, an information-only item. And it looks like we're going to hear from Ms. Christensen.
Thank you. I hope nobody minds if I just stay in my seat here. The goal of our communication strategy is to share accurate, yet easily understandable information about the levies with as many people as possible. Our student families, our administrators and staff, partner organizations and agencies, neighborhood councils, civic clubs, registered voters, anyone who lives in or owns property in Missoula. Teams from the superintendent's office, business services, and O&M all helped with developing the language for our informational materials and with gathering photos and other info. We put together messages to share with our school communities, including families and staff, and set a schedule for those messages to go out through Blackboard starting last Monday and continuing through Election Day. We also put together some general information for principals, a slideshow and an FAQ, to prepare them for discussions about the levy items, and met with the principals to preview our communications plan and begin scheduling opportunities for them to share information with their school communities in staff meetings, PTA, and PTO meetings. Our admin team is attending staff meetings as well at all of the schools to talk about the levies and answer any questions. We've provided all the schools with digital flyers to share on social media, as well as print flyers and posters to put up around the schools. And we also gave them some language to add to their reader boards. You can see an example of one of those flyers on page 30 of the agenda packet. Copies of this flyer went home with all the elementary age students in our district. And we also mailed out a postcard with this same information to registered voters in Missoula. Russ has sent an editorial to the newspaper that is expected to run this Sunday. I've been doing some direct outreach with local news media for TV, radio, and print stories on the levies. And we've been meeting with parent groups and community groups at PTA meetings and neighborhood councils. And later this month, we've been invited to some Rotary Club gatherings and other civic group meetings as well. I've been including levy information in the district's newsletter that goes out to all MCPS staff each week. I've also shared our flyer in other local publications and newsletters such as the Chamber of Commerce and Gatherboard, MissoulaEvents.net. We will continue to share updated information directly with staff and families through email, text, and voice messaging via Blackboard, as well as with the larger community through the district social media channels. Tracy created a wonderful website that has all of this information and more for those who want details. It's www.mcpsmt.org/levies. A link to this website has been posted on the homepages of every school in the district. Again, our goal with all of this communication is to be as transparent as possible while also making it as easy as possible for people to find accurate information about these new levy requests.
Thank you so much. Are there questions from trustees? Trustee Witcher.
What can we do to support this?
Well, our partner agencies and organizations will have received some information and flyers, and if you'd like to help us spread the word via your own social media and other staff meetings or any sort of place where you see any sort of gathering, and help us answer questions or even just refer people to the website, that would be tremendously helpful.
Other trustee questions? Okay. Seeing none, is there any public comment on this information item? No. Okay. I am going to add a comment that the suggestions that Ms. Christensen made about sharing on your own, in your own networks and in your own communities, for trustees, I hope that everyone takes that to heart. And is it okay for me to say this now? I can say this. And that everyone does what they can. This is a decision that, if I recall correctly, was unanimous amongst our, as a vote. And so all of us really have a responsibility to do what we can to see that these are successful and that our schools are funded. So I hope trustees really do step up to the plate and help spread the word on this. Okay, so moving on to the next item, which is personnel negotiations and policy. And the topic is approving the first reading of a new board policy regarding electronic signatures. And Superintendent Lodge is going to walk us through this.
This is a pretty easy one. We've been accepting electronic signatures. I've been using electronic signatures as well on documents that I need to sign, but we just don't have a policy. And we need a policy just to make sure we're clean and everything's working the way it should. So the School Board Association has a model policy, and it's the one 7535. This is just the first reading tonight. Then it'll be posted for public comment. We'd be back in the May meeting to maybe do the second reading and see if we can get a vote. But tonight, it's mainly just making sure our policies match up with our practices and vice versa. So we need to just get this policy on the books, and it allows for electronic signatures, and that's about it. So that's really all I have for you.
Are there any questions from trustees? Trustee Mercer?
I suppose just a suggestion in the third paragraph. I mean, I would consider just saying when not otherwise prohibited and take out the practical. I mean, this is routine. This is how we approve all bills in my world, and it's not merely, we don't have to make a showing whether it's practical or not. It's just so much easier and saves time. So I guess I consider that.
Other questions from trustees? So not seeing any other questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve the first reading of new board policy 7535 regarding electronic signatures. This is a K-12 motion. Trustee Witt, and a second. Trustee Vogel. And is there any public, no, board discussion first or public comment first? Board discussion first. No. Any public comment? No. Okay, then I will ask trustees to raise their hand if they approve the motion on first reading of this new board policy 7535, including those online. That is unanimous as to all trustees present. So then we move on to the next topic, which is the personnel report. And we're not going to discuss individual items on the personnel report. Mr. Rott, anything we should be aware of?
No, this is our routine monthly report for both elementary and high school.
So are there any trustee questions about the personnel report? Nope. Then can I have an elementary motion, please, to approve the personnel report? Trustee Mercer, is there a second? Trustee F. Garris. Is there any trustee discussion? Nope. Or public comment? Nope. Then all trustees in favor of approving the personnel report for elementary? Elementary trustees in favor, thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4-5, that's unanimous as to trustees present. And then same again on the secondary report. Is there a motion from a trustee Asgaris, and a second? Trustee Witt? Any board discussion or public comment? No, there's not. So all trustees in favor of approving this motion? That's unanimous. All right. So now we move on to item number 10. Is Trustee Walker Andrews, are we having this item? Trustee Walker Andrews didn't ask for it to be removed, but since she is presenting on it, I'm not sure.
We're having trouble hearing her. She's not coming through, and she's been trying to talk.
So is it possible then, at this stage of the game, to say that if we're not able to hear Trustee Walker Andrews, that we can make a motion to move this to our next agenda? Can I, do we need to move that? That needs to be a motion or just a suggestion? We can just do it. Okay. Trustee Walker Andrews, we hope you feel better soon, and we're sorry we can't hear you, and we look forward to your report on the next agenda. That brings us to the next topic, which is item B, item 10B, which is the superintendent's contract and terms for our incoming new superintendent. Am I leading this discussion?
So.
That was a good one for me to step into.
Our board chair and Mr.
Okay, thank you. So the contract that is attached has already been signed by Mr. Hill. And what we are looking for here is approval from the board. Phew. Are there questions from trustees about what's contained in the signed contract in your agenda? Questions? No. Okay. So I will entertain a motion from any trustee to approve the contract and terms as outlined in the attached contract. Trustee Asgaris, is there a second? Trustee Witt? And is there any board discussion? No? Okay. Is there any public comment? No. Okay. So all trustees in favor of approving the contract as attached to our agenda, please raise your hand. Right?
No, yeah, forgot.
And both online? Yes, okay. So that's unanimous as to trustees present. Thank you, everyone. And I think that's the end. So we, at 7:08, are adjourned.